to Horror Wing. Today I'm talking you into a different world of mysteries. I'm going to tell you true analog horror stories that actually happened to me. But that's not all. I will also show you some strange photos that I accidentally captured on my phone during these events. You will see things that cannot be explained. So let's start with a first story. Put on your headphones, close your eyes, and listening very carefully to darkness. Are you ready? Here's story number 1. It was a very quiet Tuesday night. The clock on the wall showed exactly 2 in the morning. Everyone in the house was sleeping deeply, and the street outside was completely dark and silent. I woke up because I felt very thirsty. My throat was very dry, and I needed a cold glass of water from the kitchen. I didn't want to turn on the big lights because I did not want to wake up my family. I used a small light on my phone to guide my way down the long cold hallway toward the kitchen. As I walked closer to the kitchen, I saw a light already shining from the inside. It was the small light above the stove. I stopped walking for a second. I saw someone standing at the kitchen counter. It was my mother. She was wearing her favorite blue robe and her long hair was tied back in a ponytail. She was busy cutting some vegetables, and the sound of the knife hitting the wooden board was very loud in the silence. It was strange for her to be cooking so late, but I was not afraid. I walked into the kitchen and stood right behind her. "Mom, why are you cooking at this hour?" I asked with a sleepy smile. She did not answer me immediately. She just kept cutting the vegetables with a very fast and steady rhythm. Her back was turned toward me, so I could not see her face. The kitchen felt unusually cold, and I could see my own breath in the air. Something felt wrong, but I thought I was just tired. I reached for a glass and filled it in with water from the sink. I took a long drink of water and watched her work. She was moving very smoothly, almost like a machine. She did not look at me or acknowledge my presence at all. "Mom, are you okay?" I asked again, touching her shoulder very lightly. Her skin felt like ice and her body was very stiff. She stopped cutting for a moment, but she still did not turn around. The only sound in the room was a low humming of the old refrigerator. My heart started to beat a little faster as the silence grew longer. Suddenly, I heard a different sound coming from the hallway behind me. It was the sound of the door opening slowly. I turned my head to look back toward the bathrooms. My heart stopped. My mother was walking out of her bedroom, rubbing her tired eyes. She was wearing her blue robe and her hair was tied back in the ponytail. She looked at me and whispered, "Who are you talking to, son? Why are you in the kitchen alone in the dark?" I froze. My blood turned into ice instantly. If my mother was standing in the hallway, then who was woman standing in front of me at the kitchen counter? I slowly turned my head back to look at the figure in the kitchen. She was still there, but she had stopped moving completely. The knife was still in her hand. My real mother walked closer to me, looking very confused and worried. She could not see the other woman because she was standing in the shadows. I could feel the cold air coming from the figure. I could not speak at all. The figure in front of me began to turn around very slowly. Her neck made a loud cracking sound with every movement. When she finally faced me, I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. She looked exactly like my mother. She had the same face, the same eyes, and the same blue robe, but her eyes were completely black with no white parts at all. Her smile was way too wide for a human face. She was not a person, she was a perfect copy. A doppelganger was standing in our warm kitchen. The imposter looked at my real mother in the hallway and then looked back at me. She began to mimic my mother's voice. "Who are you talking to, son?" she whispered, using the exact same tone and sound. It was like hearing a recording of my mother's voice played back through a broken speaker. The imposter started to walk toward me, but she did not move like a human. Her legs straight and she seemed to glide across the floor. My real mother finally saw her and let out a loud, terrifying scream. My mother ran toward me and pulled me into the hallway. We both ran into her bedroom and locked the door with trembling hands. We could hear imposter walking slowly down the hallway. Her footsteps were heavy and wet, like someone walking a mud. She stopped right outside our door. We stayed very quiet, holding our breath in the dark room. We could hear her breathing on the other side of the wood. It was a deep, rattling sound that did not human at all. It sounded like something very large and hungry. After a few minutes, the breathing stopped. We heard the front of door open and close very softly. We stayed in the bedroom until the sun came up. When it was finally light outside, we slowly opened the door and walked back to the kitchen. The kitchen was empty. Everything looked normal, but the knife was still on the wooden board. There were vegetables on the counter, but they were not real. They were made of the dark, oily substance that smelled like all meat. The imposter had left her dinner behind for us to find. We called the police, but they did not believe our story. They said we probably had a bad dream or a shared hallucination. But I know what I saw. I saw two versions of my mother in the same house. Since that night, my mother and I are always careful. We have a secret code word that we use to prove we are real. We never answer the door unless we hear the code. But sometimes, late at night, I hear a voice outside my window. It sounds exactly like my mother, calling my name and asking me to come out, son. The scariest part is the imposter is still out there somewhere. She knows our house, she knows our voices, and she knows our secrets. Doppelgangers are not ghosts. They are creatures that want to take your place in the world. They watch you from the shadows and learn everything about you. They wait for a perfect moment when you are alone to strike. Once they take your skin, your family will never know you are gone. They will lie with the monster and think it's you. It's perfect crime. If you are listening to this part, please be careful in your own home tonight. Your home is supposed to be a safe place in the world, but it's not real. Are you thinking it's real? No, you're wrong. Have you noticed anything strange lately? Maybe your brother too acting like little different, or your sister's eyes look a bit too dark. Sometimes the people we love are not who they seem to be. The next time you see a family member in the kitchen late at night, look at them very closely. Do you blink? Do they breathe like you do? Be very sure. Most people who see a doppelganger don't live to tell the story. I was lucky because my real mother appeared to at right that moment. But what if she stayed asleep? I would have stood there talking to a monster until it was too late. These creatures are increasing in number and they are moving into our cities and our homes. They are people you see on bus, the people at your office, and the people in your mirror. They are everywhere, waiting for you chance to step into the light and take over. Thank you for listening to this first case file. This is just one of many stories I have collected for you. Tonight, before you go to sleep, make sure you lock all your doors and windows. If you wake up and need a drink of water, maybe it's better to stay in bed. You never know who might be waiting for you in the kitchen. Cutting vegetables in the dark, put on your headphones, stay safe, and remember that horror wink is always watching you. Good night, and please try to stay awake as long as you can.